Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, all praise be to Allah, the Lord of the heavens and the earth, and peace and blessings be upon our beloved Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Dear brothers and sisters, I salute you all with the salutation of the people of paradise. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh from me, Hatim Al Abdilsalam, and with me, Engineer Muhammad Farooq. Assalamu alaikum, Muhammad.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you today?
Wonderful, great.
We're all alone, me and you today.
I know, we missed the rest of the crew.
Alhamdulillah. Welcome to your program, Knowing As It Is.
Life as it is.
Life. Why do I keep getting
Hatim,
it wrong?
it's not Ramadan. It's sleep deprivation. I think we need to do a program on sleep deprivation.
What did I say? Knowing As It Is?
Yeah, close.
It's close.
You get half points.
So, and today we have a special show. It's about food and medicine.
Yikes.
Yeah? So to start off, why we picked this particular topic, as we know, there are three things which are important in life. Yeah.
Right.
Religion, faith,
guidance. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Guidance, and then you have education.
Right.
And then you have health.
Right.
Yeah. So the first day, the show, we spoke about believers and followers. That was about religion, and we'll have another show about faith, which is authentic religion. Inshallah. And then we spoke about education, which is implementing what we learn in school.
Correct.
Yeah, that is done. And today we have about health.
This is wonderful.
And the most important thing about health is that there are two sources of intake in our life. Yeah, one is food and one is medicine.
Correct.
Yeah, both of them, either they will give you benefit or they would harm you. So today we're here to discuss about this topic. Exactly. So we start off with medicine.
Inshallah. Bismillah wa salatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah. Hatim, you mentioned something wonderful. I just thought about it. The first topic, that was food for soul.
Yes.
Guidance, the one that you mentioned.
That's right.
Second one was food for mind, education. And now we're talking about food and medicine, which is food for the body. Yes. So there is a connection between the three topics that you just picked up right now.
So, Muhammad, I think to start off the show, does everybody get sick?
Of course. At some point in their life, be it a child or, be it an adult, male or female, we all go through cycles of diseases, some very severe, some minor, and some, life-taking.
What is this indicating, Muhammad?
Basically, what this indicates to us is that we are a weak being, and this separates us or distinguishes us from the Creator, who doesn't sleep. We do, and again, sleep is also considered a sign of weakness. We need food and water. He doesn't. We have a beginning and an end, and he doesn't. So these are some very
And we also
obvious.
fall sick and we need cure.
Exactly.
And he doesn't.
Exactly. And as a matter of fact, when we get sick, we ask him we pray to him for healing. And we take medication as well. However, we keep in mind that shifa or healing is not in that, little colorful pill, but it's actually going to come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yes.
Because you can give the same pill to different people and one might get cured, the other doesn't, and yet another one might even die.
There is a very famous story. I'm not so sure how far it is true. It is about Prophet Moses. Yeah. So I'm not so sure if this is authentic, but I will just say it. That Prophet Moses, he was sick, and he prayed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to cure him, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guided him to a tree. To go and eat from the fruits of that tree, and he got cured. And then the second time he got sick, he went straight to the tree and he ate, and nothing happened.
Okay.
So he went back to Allah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him that you did not get cured because the first time you came to me and I gave you the means to be cured.
Right.
And the second time you did not come to me because healing comes from me.
Right.
Yeah, you went directly to the medicine, and you are not healed.
Exactly. Well, this is a wonderful story. The authenticity can be verified, but the message is powerful and profound.
Yeah, that's why many times, Muhammad, we tend to forget. We rely on the medicine not knowing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who is causing this disease in the first place, and He is the one who is taking it away. So very simple things, that if we take medicine, we say Bismillah, or we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we do a small dua or supplication to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make this disease go away.
Like Anni masani yadurru wa anta arhamar rahimin.
We tend to forget this.
Oh, exactly. As a matter of fact, they've done some studies where they just took some colorful pills which had no ingredients, for cure, and they gave it to different subjects. And some of them, just because they believed that those things had cure in them, they had different effects compared to others. And sometimes, and this is controversial, that sometimes they take pills and they just change the name slightly, and they change the packing and the look and feel, and they market it for a totally different disease, and people buy it believing that the cure is actually inside the little capsule or the little pill, which is not the case.
Yes. So what is Islam propagating, Muhammad, when it comes to medicine and being healthy?
Exactly. Islam starts addressing the spiritual, mental, and physical aspect of human beings way before medicine or disease. So there's a lot of emphasis on prevention, and we also hear, that prevention is better than cure. So the way Islam addresses this is, it's been mentioned in Quran about having halal and tayyib stuff. So in terms of the physical, where the things start from, we are asked about ablution, which is before the prayers 5 times a day, and then we've been told to take a bath and take care of our clothes and our food and our environment, and make sure that everything is in perfect condition. So the idea is that we will not get towards a scenario where we'll actually end up in a disease. And as a matter of fact, there's a hadith or saying of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. No one will be allowed to move from his position on the day of judgment until he has been asked how he, number 1, spent his life, number 2, how he used his knowledge, number 3, how he earned and spent his money, and in what pursuit he used his health. And there's another saying of Muhammad, peace be upon him, where he said 2 of the great resources or treasures are lost before people realize it. Now I'm paraphrasing this one. One is free time, and the other one is good health. So if we look at it, Islam not only shows us how to get cure, it actually disciplines us in terms of how to have prevention against such diseases, because diseases can be mental, diseases can be spiritual, and the most serious ones are the ones which we cannot see. You might see the symptoms, or the people around you might see the symptoms, but we generally tend to see a disease when it physically appears as a pain or some other form. However, one of the biggest diseases is the disease of the heart, and this is mentioned extensively in Quran and in the Hadith. And if the masses start working on their heart in terms of purifying it, and not having ill feelings towards others, and not having jealousy, and not having, being envious of others, a lot of these things will not translate into mental problems and will not translate into physical problems, which can be considered as the last stage.
Yes. Now, it is very important to know that medicine is important in our life.
Correct.
But how much important is it? Yeah, so when we approach our behavior towards medicine, normally in the olden days, there was very little medicine around.
Correct.
Maybe there was herbal or folk medicine, which has been used, and our lifestyle contributes to the excessive use of medicine now. Yeah, it's becoming part of life. So, for example, every household you would find Panadol, or you'd find Brufen, or we'd find Actifed, or all sorts of medicines.
Right.
Yeah, and sometimes they become part of our life even without feeling.
Exactly. Well, see, Hatim, I would like to look at it. In the initial days, we had more spirituality. We were more connected to the religion. Okay, so when something upset us in terms of a disease, we were looking more towards religion for solutions. Now we are more enticed, and we have more faith in these colorful pills. Yes, they do have benefit. I'm not going to discount that. However, the proportion is not correct. So people have full medicine cabinets in their houses. Okay, and even if you go out and, as an example, you have a few sneezes or you have a running nose, and they'll give you a huge bag of medicines. Take this before breakfast, take this after meal, this cup before you go to bed, and so on and so forth. But the spirituality aspect is totally absent. And broadly, you can classify medicine into two. One is the, like you mentioned, the folklore or alternative traditional medicine, which was passed on from generations to generation based on experience.
And this is how we were raised.
Exactly.
Yeah? At home, when you have, let's say, for example, sore throat, you'd have honey with ginger, and cloves. And things like that, When you have a twisted ankle, for example, they would use egg and flour, as a crust.
By the way, these are all-time successful recipes. I mean, it's not like they only worked in the old days. They still work.
They all worked. Yeah, they worked perfectly.
Exactly. The thing is, we have distanced ourselves from them. They still work. There are people who go to them, and if you look at it, due to the extensive cost associated with the modern day medical system, a number of people are forced to actually go towards herbal, which is amazing, as we were discussing earlier, that herbal doesn't have side effects.
Yes.
So if it's not going to cure you, it's not going to kill you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
However, this can't be said about the scientific or what they call conventional medicine. And plus, we've seen this number of times that a medicine will come on the market and they will sell millions and millions of them. Okay. And then after a number of years, a study will come and they'll say, oh, by the way, we sold so many millions of these. These are the side effects, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4.
Yeah, they don't tell you far ahead.
Yeah, and we're going to cancel this and we're going to recall whatever is out there. And by the way, here's another one. This is better than that one. Yeah. And people buy it. People buy this idea.
And the thing is, it's becoming a huge industry. The pharmaceutical industry is huge.
It's a multi-billion dollar.
And it is out there, and it is waging a war against herbal medicine.
Exactly. You see that the thing is, there is a struggle going on to control the food supply and to control the medicine, and profit before people is one of the things that's driving it. As an example, you can see, like, your forefathers, they were more towards agriculture.
Yes.
Okay. Now, how many of your cousins who are involved in farming? Absolutely none. So we are depending on external sources for our food. Same goes for medicine. You see, in the old days, food was grown. A lot of plants were grown for two reasons: for food and medicine. So if you look at it, food and medicine are two sides of the same coin.
And they're always connected.
Exactly. What you put in your body,
today's world, what is making us sick is most of the time the food that we eat.
Exactly. We're going to talk about it, inshallah, in the second half of the show. The food, our changed lifestyles, which are incompatible with our food intake, and lack of exercise, lack of diet. So these are all combining in a very detrimental way and resulting in humongous number of people getting sick with diseases like sugar and heart attack and obesity and things like that.
The thing is, Muhammad, we need to have like an independent body for consultation about medicines. We really take medicines blindly. Yeah, especially most of us, I think, when we get medicines from the hospitals, we have blind trust in the doctors. We do not say that the doctors, they will harm us, but the thing is that we should at least have a simple basic awareness of what we are putting into our body.
Exactly.
Yeah, at least to know what are the side effects of this medicine, at least to have a choice whether you want this medicine or this medicine. Yeah, you don't only get one medicine that is prescribed. Yeah, and the part where the consultant talks to you and explains to you the alternatives and what you need in your body and how important is this medicine to you, that is lacking, I think.
Well, you see, there are regulatory bodies in different countries. The sad thing is, in some countries, not all, they get compromised.
Yes.
Because, like I said, when the whole thing is driven by profits, it's all about making money. then sincerity and spirituality takes a back seat. In the old days, a medicine man would apply herbs and, he'll say a few prayers and, doctor used to visit you at home and he'll talk to you and he'll pray for you if you have a fever or something.
And they would hardly take anything from you.
Exactly. Now it's all money driven, and you wait out there for half an hour and you go in the room and, he looks at you at times. He doesn't even talk to you nicely, and he'll just fill up a prescription sheet with 8, 10, 12 medicines, and he'll just tell you, take this, take that, and see me after a week. Well, here's the deal. If you've given me the right medicine, why do I have to see you after a week? I mean, you want me to be a repeat buyer? You want me to take a membership in your club? So this is the mentality out there. It's very cold. The humanity aspect is sucked out of this.
You're never told to go back home and have some rest or give it a few days. Yeah,
exactly.
You're always given something to take with you.
I was talking to a doctor. She's a friend of mine. She's a doctor, and she, frankly, she told me that if we catch a cold, I tell my kids, go rest and take lots of fluids. Drink orange juice or what you have.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the thing. I mean, most of these things have been hijacked. And if you look at the spiritual angle, one of the attributes of Quran, or one of the name of Quran is shifa.
Shifa.
And that means healing. And then there are other things mentioned in Quran, like honey.
Yeah.
Okay, and in the prophetic tradition, and there are books
honey,
out there.
Ginger, garlic,
black seed.
Yeah. Black seed, Habbat al-Barakah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, these things are mentioned.
And there are books out there called the prophetic medicines, or the medicine of the prophet.
Yes.
I encourage our listeners to get their hands on them and see and read how it used to be, and then make their own conclusion.
The thing is, Muhammad, having all these medicines around our life, we develop these habits. Mm-hmm. Yeah. When coming to deal with these medicines, they can be very dangerous. For example, if I have a sore throat,
mm-hmm.
I would go to the hospital and I would be given antibiotics. Maybe after a while, after using the antibiotic, I feel better.
Mm-hmm.
My brother will have an infection. So I would tell him that you can use my antibiotic.
Mm-hmm.
I would start prescribing the medicine to someone else,
right.
Although not knowing will this medicine be applicable to him
exactly.
or not. So these are some of the practices that are developed because of our relying on the medicine extensive relying on the medicine.
You see, I agree with you, Hatim. It will rarely cross our mind that we'll say, okay, I'll make dua for you, may Allah give you shifa. By the way, try this thing, try honey, put a little bit black seed on it, or honey and ginger, and take hot tea, or get some rest, or get some orange juice. The thing is, I agree with you. Either we'll refer him to a doctor that we like, okay, a health center that we like, or medicine that worked for us, even though his condition might be warranting for something different. And this is quite dangerous. The lining surrounding the cloud is, thanks to internet, there's a lot of information available out there. So as a first stage, you can at least search the medicines which have been given to you. I'll give you an example. If I get a bit under the weather, I try to resist it by taking like hot steam and these herbal and folklore medicine.
Yes.
And as a last resort, if I have to go to the doctor, they'll prescribe you the strongest one and the longest one. But I'll take it only like a day or so, till my immune system is just enough to carry its own weight. Yes. I won't actually do the whole course for 5 days or 6 days, because you see, if I do that, my body is going to develop resistance. So next time when I get sick and I need antibiotics, they're not going to work. So I'm going to need a higher dose for a longer time.
Which will affect you, will have a lot of side effects.
And I've personally had some very scary encounters with antibiotics. So I'm scared of them, to be honest.
Actually, Muhammad, this behavior is developed because we are impatient. Yeah. Most of the time, we want to heal now, immediately.
Exactly.
Yeah, we don't give ourselves time.
Well, what you see, again, I'll bring the spiritual angle to the table. It is said that if a Muslim suffers from a disease, his or her sins, they are removed.
Yes.
So if we look at it from that angle, there is good in it. I'm not saying don't get any medicine and just stay sick. That's not the case. But the thing is, there should be some kind of a balance. Instead of just pumping your body with all these pills and
most of the time, Muhammad, the painkillers, they actually don't take the pain away. They just
stop the announcement of the pain.
It's like you're becoming numb.
Yeah.
The senses in your brain just tell you that the pain is away, but actually the problem is still there. Right. It is not curing the problem.
Well, I mean, if you take it one step further, it's like getting drunk.
Yes.
Your problem is still there. You're not there.
Yes.
Or it's like shooting dope.
Yes. Now about this pharmaceutical industry,
it's
Muhammad.
a multi-billion-dollar industry.
In the Asian countries, the biggest problem is monopoly. Yeah, on the pharmaceutical industry. And this is causing
Hatim,
the medicines to be very expensive.
It's actually a global phenomena, and if you look at some of the most advanced countries in the world, their healthcare systems are just collapsing. And
yes.
you can research this on the internet if you're interested. And there have been some very controversial issues where, as an example, a pharmaceutical will make a medicine, and then they'll have like intellectual property rights on it or copy or trademarks on it. And then you got people, as an example of AIDS, people are dying daily. But because of the cost of medicine associated, they cannot afford it.
So so the medicine is not created for humanity to solve the problems. It is more commercial.
The way we look at it, it has become more commercial. Maybe it started genuinely, okay? But if you look at the trends and you look at the statistics and you look at the news and you put all that together, you'll see that it's just one big giant money-making machine.
Yeah, and that's how other industries are developed.
Basically, food is the same.
Like the medical insurance. If you look at Oman, for example, the 5-6 years back, we did not have medical insurance. We just go to the doctor and you get the direct bill. But now they have introduced the medical insurance. Well, most of the time when you go to the hospital, they say this is not covered. This is not covered.
Yeah, herbal is not covered. That's not covered.
You don't get it. Yeah, what's the point of the medical insurance if everything is not covered?
Well, that's
and
again,
it's a minting industry.
Yeah, it's again a controversial topic, and I wish we could get somebody online who's more knowledgeable in this thing. But the way it seems to, even to a layman, they are not there to serve us. Okay, they will not take a loss. They are there to make money, and this is the reality. And that's why you see they'll have co-pays for everything. Each time you visit, you have to pay so much. And then they will have like, you have to pay like half the payment for this treatment, and that's not covered, and this is not covered, and that's not covered. So the way it looks like it, that you and I are actually paying for our own treatment on top of the insurance charges.
Yes.
And we're getting the short end of the stick. And you can see in other countries what happened where they try to implement these insurance companies.
Okay, Muhammad, we have a call. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
How are you, sister?
I am fine. Brother Hatim and Brother Muhammad Farooq, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
I am Sister Shaheen.
Sister Shaheen, how are you?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm great. I'm thrilled to hear you again on your show.
You're one of our loyal listeners.
Jazakallah,
you call us every time, so we are very grateful for you to call.
Thank you. Fine. Rather than asking a question, today I have my personal perspective to share on the topic.
That's
so can
very
I
good.
Go ahead?
Sure. Yes, please.
All right. I think at times we Muslims are sending a wrong message to non-Muslim when it comes to Ramadan and fasting, because most non-Muslims consider Ramadan, instead of fasting, they consider that as feasting.
Yes.
And that is because for most Muslims, Ramadan becomes a time where we spend a lot of time cooking and eating, when it is actually supposed to be the other way around.
Exactly.
Whereby we spend a lot of time in praying and shaping our lives.
Yes.
So this is a reminder for most Muslims, all their listeners, brothers and sisters, please do not spend too much time in cooking and eating or feasting, but rather praying and shaping our lives.
I agree with it. You see, the essence of Ramadan is Qalilul Naum wa Qalilul Ta'am. Less sleep and less eating. And unfortunately, a number of Muslims, they put on more weight during Ramadan. And where this is Ramadan is supposed to give us a spiritual high and a mental high and even make our bodies better, sometimes the results around us are contrary to the teachings of Islam when it comes to Ramadan. I'll give you give you just my example. A couple of years ago, I decided that I'm going to just boycott all iftar parties. I'm not going to go. Be it at my house or be it somewhere else, the driving and the anxiety and getting the kids ready and, beating the traffic and then going there and then just, getting involved in talk, which is generally very less to do with religion, and then just eating beyond our capacity and then missing Isha and Taraweeh and running back home. And I have noticed a huge change, at least in my life, compared to the Ramadans that we had before. So we treat it as normal in terms of food. As a matter of fact, we try to curtail our food intake and we try to reduce the number of hours that we sleep. And I do agree with you. This is the spirit or the essence of Ramadan.
That's right.
Thank you very much, Sister Shahina. You have something else to add, Sister Shaheen?
Yes, I would. I definitely agree with Brother Muhammad. And as well as a reminder, at least from your platform, from your talk show, please remind the listeners that let us not waste food, because there are millions of people in the world who do not get 1 square meal a day. And it is really very wrong on our part to be wasting food in this month.
Inshallah.
Let us give a reminder to everybody out there, whoever is holding or having an iftar party, let them invite not just only the people who are fasting, but the people who cannot afford food or cannot afford iftar for that particular day.
Exactly. I agree with you. There are two things. Number one is, if you're having an iftar, first of all, don't call it a party. It's an iftar meal or iftar dinner. Invite the people who really deserve it, be it your friends or family or whatever that might be. However, please don't go for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 dishes and turn it into a buffet. Your stomach cannot handle it. You are punishing your stomach and going against the teachings of Islam as well. The second thing is, even if it's one dish, please don't overeat, because there is the appetite of the stomach and then there's the appetite of the eye. So remind yourself that even a few morsels of food are enough for me. I really don't have to fill up 2 huge plates of rice and stuff them, because you will most probably end up wasting them. So the thing to avoid waste is, number one, cook less in terms of number of dishes and in terms of the quantity of those dishes. And number two, share with others. There's barakah if people sit together and eat together as opposed to eating separately.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Sister Shaheen. Thank you.
Right. Welcome.
All right. That was a good wake-up call, yeah.
We'll go back to the issue of the food on the second half of the show, but Inshallah. Now we need to take a short break, and then we'll come back and continue.
A business, okay. I need an experienced advisor.
When I'm expanding operations, I require integrated solutions.
When I'm faced with challenges, I need someone I can rely on.
At Bank Soha, our journey towards service excellence begins with you. We are committed to a customer-focused approach for realizing the challenges of small and medium businesses, marking your journey with remarkable milestones. Make a difference to your banking experience with Bank Soha. Call 24730000 today.
توينجلي Emigrant 7 on Oman TV الرحلة program. Send SMS on 91214. Oman Tel 91817. أريد.
Let us take you on a spiritual journey through our voice this Ramadan in Life as It Is. Explore opportunities and tranquility with the young voices of tomorrow on the Nation Station 90.4 FM from Saturday to Thursday, 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. Engineer Muhammad Farooq, Janab Al-Saida, Maya Al-Said, Ahmed Al-Matani, and Hatim Al Abdilsalam. Call us on 246-02058 or text us at 90406. to explore your potentials like never before. This Ramadan, here on the Nation Station.
You lift me up high, you spread my wings and fly me to the sky. I feel so alive, it's like my soul thrives in your light. But how I wish you'd be here with me all year around. Ramadan, 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 ya Habib. Ramadan, Ramadan, laytaka dawman qareeb.
Assalamu alaikum everyone, this is Hatim Al Abdilsalam along with Engineer Muhammad Farooq talking about food and medicine. So Muhammad, we've discussed some of the things about the pharmaceutical industry and the addiction to medicine, and whether it's an illusion that we can't live without medicine. Yeah. And one more thing that we forgot to address is that the more drugs they produce, the new diseases that are discovered.
This was wonderful, Hatim. You mentioned that. I didn't share with you during the break. I got this message from this lady who's overseas listening to our program on the internet.
Mashallah.
And she sent this comment that medicines are chemical almost. Nowadays, medicines are advanced, whereas the health of the human beings are getting poorer and poorer.
Yes.
Painkillers are addictive. If we take them each time, and we still suffer because we get used to them and develop resistance against them. Okay. So I do agree with you that new diseases are coming up. Some of them have to do with our lifestyle, and some of them could be a side effect of the medicine that we're already consuming.
Yes, yes.
So if we look at the traditional stuff, as an example, there is acupuncture, which is still used in a lot of places in the world. And then there is something called bloodletting, or in Arabic tradition it's called hijama.
Yes.
And Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he said, indeed, the best of remedies you have is cupping. This is in Sahih Bukhari. So this is something which is almost lost, especially in the Muslim Ummah.
Yes.
And I'll again give you my example. I discovered this thing after a very, very long time. Nobody told us about this in school. Nobody in our family told us. Nobody, in our social circles of friends told us about this thing. We discovered it accidentally, alhamdulillah. And now we do it, and the effects are wonderful.
Yeah, subhanallah. I think the thing is, in the past, that why also some of the governmental bodies were trying to restrict these centers that are doing these hijama is because of hygiene reasons, and for diseases not to be spread because of the usage of blood. Yeah?
Exactly.
So now that there is regulations, there is hygiene, there is this, so you get the benefit out of it.
Exactly. I mean, you can take care of hygiene just like you take care of it in handling food in a restaurant. Of course, the standards are a bit more stringent when it comes to hijama. However, you can get certified.
Yes.
So you learn from proper teachers.
That's right.
And then you practice this thing. I'm not saying everybody should just get up and start messing up with this thing. However, the advantages are amazing, and this is more related to preventive maintenance.
Yes.
As in, because you see, if we are proactive, most of the diseases will not get to us.
Yes.
The thing is, we are reactive. Something goes wrong, okay, and still we don't look at the root cause. And we just start, pumping ourselves with medicine to fix it.
But the other thing, Muhammad, about herbal medicine is that the pharmaceutical industry, they are playing somehow a dirty game when it comes to herbal medicine. They produce some products, naming them herbal medicines, which are not. And they are sold out there in the market, all over the internet. And then people use them, and then they might be harmed and this, and then the blame is on the herbal medicine.
Exactly.
So we have to be very careful when we're talking about herbal medicine, whether they're authentic, whether they're done by proper companies, or it's just another game to destroy the market of the herbal medicine.
I agree with you. Look, trust can only take us so far. At the end of the day, we'll have to educate ourselves to a certain degree where we know about these herbal remedies and how to use them.
Okay, we have on the call Mr. Ghalib Al-Ma'uli, who is a pharmacist. Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Ghalib.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
How are you?
I'm fine.
It's Alhamdulillah. It's
Ramadan
nice.
Kareem.
Ramadan Kareem.
Ramadan to you also.
Mr. Ghalib, it's nice to have you on the show. Ghalib, you are a pharmacist, and
Yes,
we would like your expertise when it comes to medicine. So we would like you to tell us how do people have to behave towards medicine? Yeah, how do they deal with medicine? At the moment, people are unaware of the types of medicines, the side effects, the dosage. People are just misusing the medicine, and also they have lost the trust in the traditional and herbal medicine. So, as a pharmacist, can you tell us a little bit about these two types of medicines?
Great. Thank you for inviting, and to make it short.
Yes.
I think we have to understand that people will not stop from accessing way to treat or to, especially we are talking about symptoms which are very not tolerated by patients. So this kind of patient will not stop from seeking any help.
Yes.
So most of them will end up in the pharmacies to buy painkillers and or antibiotics and so on, but they still don't have enough information. So I'm expecting that they will. It's risky.
Yes.
Part. The other part will be going to herbal or other alternative therapies available, or accessible to them. Again, this is also something which they are not also very well prepared. And the herbal or alternative, there is a problem that is not very well monitored. So there is this people will want to make money out of it, and
Yes.
there's a lot of cheating or all these kind of things in the herbals
It is not regulated. It is not regulated well.
To patients.
Hmm.
So the other part, pharmacy medicine, or you can send the pharmaceutics, they are more controlled, more monitored. There's a system to report any problems patient may encounter. Yeah, so that's the main difference, I could guess.
So, Mr. Ghalib, normally when patients come to the pharmacy, do they ask for explanation about this medicine? What does it do? What's the side effect? Do they ask these information?
That's a very interesting question, because patient, we as a pharmacist, we are supposed, we don't wait patient to ask. We have a proactive role to inform patients so that they are aware of any problems they will encounter, so that they are more able to report them or to feel and discuss them with their doctors. But because of the situation, maybe it's not. But some patients, I will say, who have negative experience or have someone who informed them about the problem with medicine, so they usually come forward and ask questions.
Yes.
So whenever they ask, it becomes very important that we leave what we do and we just inform them. But there is a way of telling them. Do we tell everything about the problems with that medicine, or just the common or the serious one? Do we say also the rare ones? Because this patient, if we don't say any some information, they will get it. They will read it. They will hear it from neighbors and so on, or from the media. So this is not easy job, although we inform them, but it's not that easy in terms of appropriateness.
Yep.
What do we inform and how much we inform? Yep.
What about the production of medicines? Yeah, we have this pharmaceutical industry which is growing bigger and bigger every single day, and new types of medicines are arriving in the market, and at the same time new diseases are being discovered every single time. So is the patient forced by these medicines? Most of the people complain when they go to the hospital, they come out with a heavy bag of medicines. Can it be reduced to a lower level than that?
I think there is the need for patients to get medicine because of the disease they have discovered, because the new medicine are discovered to treat some diseases that were not being treated. For example, before you will want to treat fever infection due to viral differently, but now the treatment is more successful.
Yes.
And this is something which the patient will get it with no information. Either they visit doctors, then doctors inform them. Then, so the need to get medicine will increase as the disease and the treatment is explored more. But we should, the patient should be educated that how to deal with that. It's not just because we have our patient culture here. They think that the number of medicine you are introducing to them, it means they are being more secure in terms of their health, or the treatment is better.
Right.
It's supported by many medicine, and some of them will always want to have medicine at home just in case.
Yes.
That they may need it. And this is, again, a problem, of course. So I will guess that the public may need to be regulated in terms of how they see, how they understand the medicine, how they, I think there is an incomplete picture there from the public.
One last question I wanted to ask you, Mr. Ghalib, is that in the future, is there a plan to have both a normal pharmacy and a herbal pharmacy in hospitals? Yeah, so that a person might have a choice whether he wants the modern medicine or he wants the traditional medicine. This way, at least you have the herbal and traditional medicine regulated within the boundaries of the hospital.
Very good question. Very good question. I think to regulate them is very important if it's happening in the hospital or at the time this product is introduced in Oman. But in the hospital, I think the problem with herbal legally is not, you cannot, you cannot.
I think it's not covered by insurance companies.
Measure it. You cannot measure it.
But the thing is,
it's easy to tell someone take herbal and then come for a test.
No, but even those herbal medicines, they can come in portions. Yeah, you're given in portions as per the symptoms that you have, and then you come back. If you have people who are certified and regulated, and there is specific measures for these herbal medicines, then my worry is only that it is not being implemented because of the pharmaceutical industry, that most of the people will go to the herbal medicines instead of going to the modern medicines. So maybe that's why this is not being implemented, because in the past people used the herbal medicine and it worked. Yeah, and the least that will happen is that it will not help you, but it will never harm you. So I think the more regulation has to be done on the modern medicines, which are causing a lot of side effects without the patient being knowing that. That's only my personal opinion. I might be wrong.
I think what you're saying is to try and think how ways to regulate, because patients will access them, they prefer them, because of trust, as you said, it's more accessible, they have more experiences probably.
Yes.
And I will say that to give a medicine pharmaceutic, you need, because they work on a molecular level, on a very specific level.
Yes.
So you have to be very careful what you are using for what. You have to have a lot of knowledge and test. But for herbal, how it works, it's not working on molecular level. So like honey will treat many diseases, because honey did not say that it targets a molecule. So it is true that honey can treat many diseases, while our drug can treat maybe some diseases, because that's how they are designed.
Yes.
So I think I think you're right that there's a lot of public. We need to educate public, and we need to also be in front line to educate them that it's okay to use as long as they, they use it appropriately. And I think you have a point there. I think this is something missing probably.
Before we let you go, Mr. Ghalib, any last advice to the patients out there?
I think it is good to seek for alternatives, but patients have to understand that some products are not regulated, and most of them actually, or some of them, will contain the medicine pharmaceutics. This is from our experience, me and my colleagues.
Yes.
that you find a medicine from China, herbal, and then it contains the same drug which we use it to treat our patients.
Yes.
So that's one part of it. Then there is this herbal and there is this local remedies like honey and all that. It's okay to use it, but to seek medical attention, I think this needs to be revised. What happens in our culture, we seek medical attention before even trying these some remedies which may be helpful, maybe home remedies
Yes.
and
Yes.
alternatives. I think we just have to know how to deal with them.
Yes.
But
Thank you very much, Mr. Ghalib Al-Ma'wali, for your input and your information. And we hope we hear from you soon, inshallah.
Inshallah. And thank you very much for inviting.
Jazakallah
for your
khair.
time.
Jazakallah khair. Shukran.
Walaikum salam.
So, I think with the call from Mr. Ghalib, we would wrap up the discussion about medicine,
Right.
and we would go into food,
Right.
which is more important.
Food is also medicine.
Yes. Food for the soul and food for the
Mind
for
and
the
body.
belly.
Yeah.
Okay, now where do you start, Muhammad, regarding food?
Well, we'll look at a little bit about the three major classifications of food. Little bit historical background on these things. Like you said, there's food for the soul, which is the prayer, and then there's food for the mind, which is zikr or remembrance of the Creator, and finally there's food for the body, which is grains and vegetables and fruits and dairy and meats and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember doing a program with you, I think a couple of years back, about food. So I was revisiting some of the old notes that I had. And the thing is, there is the natural food, okay, which is called organic, a fancy word that scares a lot of people. This is how it used to be all the time. And then we've got the processed food.
Yes.
And then finally now we've got the GMO, or genetically modified organism, or GMF, genetically modified food, which very few people know about, and they must. Okay. So these are basically the three categories. And, there's a saying that says you are what you eat. So don't be cheap, fast, or easy. So that's the first jab I've taken over the fast food industry.
There is also a very famous book which is called You Are What You Eat. And it's very good, and I advise everyone to go and read it. There's a lot of useful information.
Okay.
But can you repeat the slogan that you just mentioned?
Yeah, it was like, you are what you eat, so don't be cheap, fast, or easy. And so we should try to avoid these foods. And, we often hear health is wealth. I would say health is more than wealth. I mean, if you get sick, you're willing to sacrifice all your wealth just so you can get your health back.
Today, Muhammad, we have lots of points to discuss when it comes to food. So I'm just gonna read them out so that at least we have an idea. Okay, first is obsession with healthy food. Yeah, recently we've seen lots of people are obsessed with healthy food. And then you have diet nutrition centers. Yeah, and then you have the level of exercise equivalent to the excessive level of food intake. Yeah, and then you have processed food, the one you just mentioned. Then you have junk food.
Yeah,
and then you have the expiry dates on products. Yeah, and then you have the genetically engineered or modified food that you just mentioned.
Right.
So we start off with the healthy food.
Yeah. See, organic foods is basically, it uses mechanical techniques, and organic farming movement, took a lot of momentum. And this actually made a comeback in response to the industrialization of agriculture that started in the wake of the world wars. The way you look at the main points, or the way you differentiate this food, is that there are no chemical fertilizers. So, you might have fertilizers which are again organic in nature. And then there are no pesticides. But the downside is that it's more expensive. Like you mentioned, people getting conscious about healthy food. Okay.
Yes.
The issue is people start cashing in on it, and they will have this restaurant with the label that, we're using all organic, and then they'll charge you an arm and a leg.
But the thing is here, Muhammad, a lot of people are being deceived when we talk about healthy food.
Yeah.
Yeah. Healthy food is not necessarily organic food.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Most of the people say that healthy food that does not have oil or sugar, or flour, white flour, something that is boiled, or grilled, so
not fried,
not fried.
And if you look at most of the fast food, with the exception of maybe one or two, most of them rely on fried products.
So, but again, this healthy food, which people are talking about and are being obsessed now, is it really working? Is it the right thing for us? Because this is linked with the other thing that I'm going to talk about, which is diet nutrition
centers. They're popping up all over the place.
Yeah, when you go there and then for sure you lose weight. Yeah, but the thing is, for example, they tell you that you cannot have dates. And dates is natural sugar. And our ancestors have had dates all over their life. And nothing happened to them. Today you're told that no, because if you want to reduce your weight, you have to stop eating from. You can't eat bananas, you can't eat mangoes, you can't eat dates.
Just ask them.
You can't eat anything.
Just ask them. Tell me what I can eat.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us 80% of the things on this planet that we can eat, and only 20% that we can't eat.
But
if you want to go through the healthy scheme, you stick with the 20 and 80% is you can't eat.
What I've seen is all these diet and nutrition centers. Number one, they need to get their success rate audited by a third independent party.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is not there.
The thing is, their diets are so unreal. If you follow them, basically you're starving yourself. So yes, you will see the effects. But the thing is, the minute you let it go, boom, you're going to get back to your original shape. You
go double the weight that you were in the past.
And then they are supplemented sometimes by pills and things of that nature. Some of them, they don't use them, others do.
And I think many of the time it's really commercial. For example, for years we heard that people who are living a healthy life, they have to use sweeteners for tea and cooking and other things. And even the people who are diabetic. And now we are told that these sweeteners are chemicals and they are,
Hatim,
they are harmful for your body.
So
you're really confused. As a human being on earth today, I'm really confused, not knowing what to eat and what not to eat. Even to the level of chewing gum. Most of the time they tell you, no, don't eat this one. It has pork fat or something. Don't eat this one. Don't eat that one. So what should we eat?
Couple of things. Go local. Know the person who's selling food to you. Maybe he's your uncle, he's your neighbor, he's your colleague.
You don't have local. You have.
You gotta find.
You have all the big stars in the market. I don't want to name them.
I hear you. I hear you. But the thing is, you gotta start making some effort, or be the first one who will start doing it. You see, the thing over here is these diet programs are so tough, and then they're not permanent. I've asked so many of my friends. And
they lose a lot of weight and then they gain back.
It's better you eat whatever is halal and tayyib, okay, but in moderation.
Yes.
And you exercise and you change your lifestyle.
And I think that is the solution for all of this. And I once I came across an article or a book, I don't remember, about the French people. It talks about how French people, they don't gain weight. Most of them are fit. And they say that there are few reasons for this. First, they eat because of the social gathering. So when they go there, they don't go for the food, they go for the gathering.
Which is the other way around for us.
So they take like for 3 hours or 4 hours in having one steak. So they take one bite and then they talk for half an hour and then they take the next bite, So they eat in small portions, but they enjoy it. They taste the food. Exactly. The other thing is that they don't use elevators. They take the stairs. And then if they go for a shopping mall, they would park the furthest, not close to the door like we Arabs. We are looking for the closest parking to the door.
We want to take our car inside the shopping mall.
These are the things that we should be learning. To control our weight.
You see, Hatim, this is wonderful.
To starve ourselves.
First of all, you mentioned the sweetener thing. I can show you ads where doctors are smoking Camel cigarettes and they're saying it's, go ahead and pick up one and burn one. It's good for your health. Okay. So just because somebody tells you that something is good for your health, what is the guarantee that after 10, 20 or 30 years another research will come and say it's not good for you? So I want to share one hadith or saying of
before
Prophet.
that, Muhammad, before you share that hadith, I think this is mainly because we are a nation which is followers. We just imitate what others tell us.
Second thing is
whatever comes in the market, then boom, we'll do it. We don't research, we don't find out. Like for example, now there's a fashion of the is it called Vooz bottle? Yeah, the bottle, the bottle that has water and fruits in it.
Okay.
Yeah? Everybody's going crazy for it. Okay, where were you all this time? You didn't know about water and fruit. Yeah, now because some celebrity out there is drinking that type of water, then everybody is becoming a scientist now and a dietitian saying, you know, the health benefit of this and that. And
I wonder who paid that scientist to say that.
I'm telling you now, it's a big market. You buy these bottles, yeah, and if you take a normal bottle which does not have the sign of the Vooz, then no, it's not effective. Okay. Even if you put the same water and the same fruit.
Don't worry about it. Copycats will come out, and budget conscious people like myself will give it a shot, and then it'll pick up as well.
What happened to the old fashioned water?
I know.
Just water, yeah? You don't want kiwi flavor or pineapple flavor or whatever flavor.
This is called...
I think we should give a chance to our callers also to call and tell us what they think.
Go ahead.
You can always call us on 24602058, 24602058. Please call us and enlighten us. Maybe we're mistaken in our observation, but this is our humble opinion.
Yeah, and it's very challenging talking about food while fasting, so we want you to have the same feeling also.
Okay, you wanted to mention a hadith.
On a bit of a serious note, I would like to share one hadith of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Like when you were talking, it came to my mind that when it comes to food, we are extremists. We're supposed to be a moderate nation, what we've been called in Quran. But unfortunately, we eat with our eyes. We don't eat with our stomach.
Yes.
And that's a tragedy. And that's the result. That's one of the reasons why so many of us get sick so badly. And that's, our contribution towards the pharmaceutical industry in terms of our money. Yes. And all the time lost when we cannot go to work because we ate too much and we got food poisoning, or we just got lazy and lethargic and we could not pray Fajr in the morning.
I think there is a very strong relation between the food industry and the pharmaceutical industry if the owners are not the same. But let us take this call and continue later on. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Brother Mazhar, how are you?
Good, brother. How about you?
Fine. How was everything?
Alhamdulillah, good, by the grace of Allah Ta'ala.
Alhamdulillah.
Ramadan is going well with all prayers.
Alhamdulillah.
Allah. We pray Allah Ta'ala to give more.
Ameen.
Ramadan.
Ameen.
Well, it is very good, fantastic subject. Just I wanted to give one small information about small things like water.
Yes.
About you might have, when we are in childhood, we never seen any kind of mineral water. We heard, but we never used to use it.
Yes.
Today, it has become a part and parcel of every house. Mineral water means is the purest water.
The luxury has become a necessity.
I tell you, Oman government is giving mashallah such a clean water, but still people say that no. Mineral water is the only pure water. All other waters are chemical water. They are not clean. They are not purified. They are not like this. How many people are there? But still we have to think
Brother Mother,
affordable.
Yeah, this is wonderful. I want to share something. I have a filter installed in my kitchen for a number of years, okay? And the other thing I want to bring your attention to is, was the bottled water recalled recently or was it the tap water? So let's be a nation who thinks, not only drinks water.
Yeah. That is true. As you said, that at least the filter, okay, at home, we can get psychological satisfaction that yes, at home it is getting filtered. What is the guarantee that all dead water we might be drinking probably? We people store 1 year storage life is there in the water.
Yeah, what surprises me is how you can put expiry date on water. And then there have been numerous cases, especially in our country, I don't know about Oman, where when they have done testing on these bottled waters, they have found them to be worse than tap water. Still, there is a perception we pay for them.
Recently in Oman, they pulled out many bottles
That's
of water.
what I was saying. I want the listeners to think that which water was recalled. Was it the tap water or was it the bottled water? Think about it. And we were paying money for it.
If you are consuming in the plastic, you know that what is the effect of the plastic.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
Again, we are consuming through the plastic. Even though it is recyclable, whatever it is, but it has got certain life.
And
we were talking about recycling the caps of these bottles and all that in the other show.
And actually, when you go to the 5-star and 6-star luxurious hotels, you're not served water in a plastic bottle. You're served water in a glass bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah. For people who can afford it, they get good water. Yeah. But for the rest of us, we get.
Hatim, when we were growing up, we had glass bottles at home and jugs. We used to use those. Now we don't.
Yeah, we don't. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, we have. See, again, in the young generation, they assume the small kids, like 4 years, and they feel that only plastic bottles are the only pure bottles. Rest all are chemical.
Sometimes perception can be deception.
Yes.
So what about food, Brother Mahmood? What about food?
Food.
Yeah.
The food is always best home food.
Home food
is just entertainment only for the tongue of 4 inches.
Yes,
that's what only it gives the fun. Once it gets in the stomach, it will not give any kind of thing.
Yes, you're absolutely
right. The thing is, the house food, what we prepare, that's the best food I can say.
So
healthy, hygienic, with love and affection, it has been served. It will eat together, or we might eat whatever it is. But still, we feel that when I'm at home, I can feel and relax and eat. But instead of you take any leading food, fast food, any leading, of course, it is good. But that's just for a moment.
It's a temporary pleasure.
Mother, I would like to disagree with you. If they are feeding you horse meat and then they admit and say, well, we did it, we won't do it again, then how you can call it healthy?
Well, in this
and most of it is fried and most of it is frozen and is thrown in this oil in front of our eyes, and yet we take our kids over there and we let them eat this garbage. So,
you're right, I'll agree with you. But we have come to such an environment that we are, suppose if we are not into that category, I'm not going to such a leading like KFC, McDonald's, Pizza Hut. Still like our product, you'll go always to small shawarma, all these things.
I would still say I agree with you, support the local guy. We are as a society trying to be very big on SMEs, yeah? So if somebody, as an example, has a mishkak stand set up, he has fresh meat and he's cooking it on open flame, why not support that guy?
I'll agree with you, brother. We have to approach our local brothers to promote like local brands names. Yes. What is wrong in that? If they come up with stand 1% of population of Oman, if they take, mashallah, our brothers will go like anything somewhere else.
Yes,
we are not comparing 100%. 1% of Oman population.
Yeah.
Residents and citizens also, I'm talking about. I'm not talking only locals.
But see, the good thing is in Oman, we still have a trend where a lot of people prefer to eat in their homes. Okay? And you have to keep in mind the culture of fast food started because of convenience. And the other thing that took over it was the price factor. So this is strange and it's sad, but that in the West, you eat fast food because you're on a budget. And in our countries, when a guest comes, we especially take them to a fast food. Okay? Yes. As being super nice to them. And, instead of entertaining them in our home, we rather take them out to an unhealthy joint and spend a lot of money just to show them that we really care for them.
Yes. That's true. That is true. I'll agree with you. That's true. We have to change our mindset up. It's not like that always fast food is the best food. Mm-hmm. Okay, fast food is for a moment.
Can you hear us,
not
brother?
For long, healthy and long run in life.
Okay, right? brother Mahmoud, thank you very much for calling. Alaikum salam. So I think this topic is really debatable, and there is lots of things to discuss when it comes to food, and it's a very sensitive topic because food is something that we cannot live without.
See, but Hatim, the thing is, we should eat to live, not live to eat.
Yes.
This should not be the core purpose of our life, and we should also consider all the expenses associated with it, like when you get sick. Okay, the government has to pay for your health.
Yes.
Right. You're missing in the office, so the office loses all that productivity. Okay, then somebody has to take care of you. So if you look at even the financial side of it, even that is humongous.
Yes.
Generally, people tend to overlook it. Before the break, I was going to share one hadith of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him.
Peace be upon him.
And whatever I have found researching this topic, I think this should be carved in golden words. This is the summary of it.
Yes.
The hadith goes as, a human does not fill any container worse than his stomach. It is enough for a human to have some morsels to strengthen his back, meaning to keep his back straight.
Yes.
If he must eat more, then it should be 1/3 of his stomach for food, 1/3 for drink, and 1/3 for breathing.
Yes.
And this is narrated by Ahmad.
This is the right formula.
Any dietitian who's worth his name should start the discussion with you through this hadith.
Yes. The moderation.
Yeah, instead of starving you to death for a few weeks and making you feel good, and then again you balloon up.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely right.
So these are words of wisdom. If we go by this, we need to start eating with our stomach, not with our eyes.
I think, Muhammad, this whole thing is a big illusion. Yeah, if you see the food industry, yeah, the advertising industry, the pharmaceutical industry, and the exercise industry, people are getting more obese. Yeah, and every single day you get new equipment for losing weight, new pills, new belts, new
Workouts.
trousers,
Yeah.
new workouts.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all a big illusion, a big industry, and people are being swiped away with all these things.
Obesity is now classified as a disease for the first time in the history of the earth. What a tragedy. At one end of the spectrum, we have kids dying of starvation and hunger and not clean water. And then we have kids getting sick because of eating too much.
Excessive
What's
food,
wrong with this picture? Think about it.
And even if you go to some of the countries, Muhammad, the types of restaurants that they have is you have that triple burger, or you have the
Supersize everything.
Supersize everything. Yeah, this is crazy.
I was looking at an infograph on the internet, and it was showing the a complete meal, which is like a burger and fries and a soda. Okay, of the 60s, and it was comparing it to the one in the 90s or 2000.
Yeah.
And everything has just grown
Bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not like a cup anymore. It's more like a jug that you're drinking, and you get free refills in certain places.
Muhammad, every single time I look at this hadith about the 1/3 of food, 1/3 of drink, and 1/3 of air, I sit and wonder, can someone survive with this food? Yeah,
of course.
So in the past years, when I went for Hajj, when we're coming from Arafah to Muzdalifah, most of the time it is packed, and then we have to walk, and sometimes you don't get a place to have dinner. Yeah, so you have in your backpack a packet of biscuit.
Yeah,
and
or dates.
Trust me, Muhammad, on the day of Arafah, we have had lunch, some fruits and water. And then until the next day, which is the morning of the day or the day of Eid, so the whole night of Al-Muzdalifah, we live on 2 pieces of biscuit.
Exactly.
And you're okay.
Yeah, you can.
You have no problem.
You can.
So I think it is just a big illusion in our mind.
We need to defeat our mind that we have to eat 3 times a day. Look, It's Ramadan. You are already eating twice a day, right?
Yes.
It's not doing anything to you.
Nothing,
On the contrary, it's making your health better. Mentally, you're more attentive. You feel lighter. You can think. Yeah. I'll share another hadith of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam with you, which is amazing, and our listeners must get that. There's a hadith saying that it's recommended to fast on Mondays and Thursdays.
That's right.
Okay, that's like 2 days in a week.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, modern science has confirmed. They have reached the same conclusion. I don't know if they knew about the hadith or not. Most probably they didn't. They call it fasting 2 days and feasting 5 days. It's called like 5:2. There's a book on Amazon that you can buy.
Yes.
And if you look at the list of benefits that you get by just resting your stomach twice a week, it's just unbelievable. So we hold the key in our hands. If we cannot control our desires for food, then we won't be able to control anything in our life. We won't be disciplined at all.
There's another hadith of the Prophet ﷺ where he says, Al-Ma'ida Baytud Da, the tummy is the house of all diseases.
Right.
Yeah, so all diseases are starting from the tummy.
Yeah.
When you are able to control what goes in, then automatically you live a healthy life.
Exactly. You see, Hatim, the thing is, we need to understand the whole ecosystem. Before, most of us were growing our own foods, like our forefathers. So it was limited in quantity, and there was blessing, and we were eating and surviving and thriving on the same.
That's right.
Then came the era of processed food. We talked about it initially in the program. And that meant that you were transforming the raw ingredients by physical or chemical means into food which can be used.
Yes.
So there was a lot of it, more variety, more quantity. So keeping up with that, we started to have more consumption.
Yes.
And this resulted in gluttony. All right. So this actually processed food started for special cases like military use, or you might have a disaster like earthquake, and you have to get food to far-flung areas.
And then they decided to move it to commercial.
Yeah. Now it's in all the markets. I'll tell you, if you remove processed food, all these big hypermarts, they would collapse.
Yes. Yes, you're absolutely right.
So the bad thing is you lose nutritional density, you become addicted to these things. Their studies have shown that they're bad for your digestion systems, and there have been numerous cases of contamination. You remember a few years ago in one country there was a milk scandal where actually 6 babies died.
Baby formula. Milk formula.
It was laced with chemical or something, and a number of babies died. And then there was like a limited backlash. But the thing is, we are so addicted to these things because the name of the game is convenience. We want ease.
Yes.
We want pre-chewed food, so to speak. We want TV dinners. Something we can throw in the microwave and nuke it and just eat it. So we are the one to blame.
I'm not just convinced with the expiry date on products.
On water.
Somebody
was telling me cosmetics. So who decides water is going to spoil in 6 months or 4 months? And then you take all that water and you throw it out because you say it's not fit for consumption. Look how you're wasting stuff. So this is just shocking. Somebody needs to study the science of expiry dates and like you said, enlighten us,
I have a very interesting website that I want everybody wants to go and have a look at it. It's called keeperofthehome.org. Keeper of the Home, and it gives you the insight of food and some of the secrets about the deception that we're living. So one of the examples here, it says that when you see products, they have the label fresh or farm fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How would you assume that this is fresh? And it says in this website that this term fresh was only used in the past for meat, to indicate if this meat has been stored in temperature more than 26 degrees, is it frozen or is it fresh? And now you find this term in most of all the products. Yeah, this is the first one. The second one, it says natural. Yeah. And you find all sorts of chemicals and all sorts of preservative materials and all
those chemicals
junk,
must be natural.
Yeah, so it says natural. Oh, it says all natural.
Hatim, these labels mean very little.
But they're deceiving. When we see this, then it's very deceiving.
Because we are assuming they will self-regulate. They're not being regulated.
For the third term that is commonly used is healthy. Yeah. And they would not put it directly. So there is a brand. I'll give you an example for Nutella. You know Nutella, yeah?
Of course.
The chocolate.
My kids live on it.
It says, the ad for Nutella says, have a Nutella for a healthy breakfast. Yeah?
That's what my kids do, unfortunately.
Nutella is filled with sugar. Yeah?
And then kids get all hyper.
Stuff. Yeah? And it says, have a Nutella for a healthy breakfast.
Hatim, I'll ask you a question. Have you ever seen any honey on the shelf of any hypermarket that says I'm not pure?
No, they all says pure.
Yeah, it could be 500 Besa or it could be 50 Reals, but all of them are pure.
All of them are pure.
Yeah. So really, I mean, how much do you want to actually believe these labels?
And the ironic part is that when we go to the ice cream shop and we say, can you give me a sugar-free ice cream?
They'll charge you double and give you the same thing.
They charge you double and give you the same thing. How do you know it's sugar-free? Yeah? What did they add to have that taste?
Hatim, grow your own ice cream.
Man, it's just crazy. Now we're told the mozzarella cheese that we use on the pizza, it's not natural. It's processed.
Oh, I don't want to get into that.
Yeah, it's not even cheese.
That warrants a separate show by itself. And you can go to any search engine.
We haven't spoken about cereals. We haven't spoken about Indomie. We haven't spoken about lots of things. I think all the women are going to hate us today.
No, I mean,
they're going to cook water.
Let me again take a crack at it from a religious angle.
Yes.
Our kids are innocent.
Yes.
They depend on us for everything, for guidance, for nutrition, for everything. And one day we will be asked.
Yes.
Okay. So knowing all this, when the Quran says halal wa tayyib, it came together, right?
Yes.
So we say, okay, halal is enough. So you can feed me garbage, whatever. I don't care about tayyib. Halal is enough. But you see, you're making a choice You can eat healthy or you cannot. What is their fault? Why are you feeding them all this? Why are you developing this into a habit and later on an addiction?
Yeah.
Why you're not educating
Most
them?
of the time, we have an excuse, Muhammad, saying that they cry for it, they want it. Everyone else is having.
No. It's
we should give them.
about discipline and alternatives.
Yes.
And if you look at even in Quran, the verses which are mentioned, it often says, okay, eat and drink, but don't be wasteful.
Yes.
Don't follow
Shaheen has mentioned.
Don't follow the footsteps of the shaitan.
Yes.
Okay, so food and drink is not that innocent. There are instructions and guidelines given in Quran about how to handle food and drinks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
right.
and there are healthy alternatives available. Imagine, Hatim, your time or your parents or your grandparents' time when all these unhealthy options were not there. Everybody survived. They had better health than us.
They had better health. They lived longer.
Yeah, they had less diseases than us. Less complicated diseases than us. They had a healthy lifestyle.
And they ate honey, ghee, and
Exactly.
rice and meat and
Exactly.
all sorts of things.
Exactly.
Yeah, they never ate sugar-free meat or
You
whatever.
see, the way I look at it, Hatim, this is a cycle.
Yeah.
We moved from organic food, we came to processed food where the challenges were pesticide residues and antibiotics used in the animals. And now we're getting into the frontier of GMOs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Tell us a little bit more about
Yeah,
GMOs. Maybe our
that's really
listeners,
scary.
They have not come across it.
And now the
What
way
is
I look at it,
GMOs?
we need to go back to organic. We have no choice. Organic is basically, it started in the 90s, and what they do is it's called Franco food as well. And there are research has shown as back as 98 there has been side effects like cancer in the lab mice which are made to eat GMO foods. And the thing is, changes are introduced into the DNA using genetic engineering, and this is mostly done on cash crops. And it's proven to be very bad. And again, here the sad thing is greed and profit by the few, because there is the safety issue, there is the environmental impact, and then some seeds, they are subject to intellectual rights. Okay, and they are owned by the corporates. So this is a direct way to control the food supply by providing GM seeds to the companies or to the farmers actually. Okay, so they have to be planted each year, and then you have to buy those seeds. And the side effects are, it can stun the growth, it results in diseases, infertility, allergies, cancer, and even death.
I think, Muhammad, many of these businessmen out there are trying to play the role of God.
And they don't consume their own products, by the way.
They don't consume their own product. They are very healthy. They have their own natural crops that they eat and fresh meat and chicken. But whatever they sell, they're selling out there to the nation is all, a disaster.
And the scary thing about GMO is if you keep on eating it, it's like a time bomb in you.
Tell us more about GMO. What is a GMO?
Yeah, it's a genetically modified organism, or you can say GMF, which is genetically modified food.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what happens is DNA is a blueprint of all living things, and molecule lives inside the nucleus of a cell. And you're messing with it. You're changing the nature or the characteristics of the food. So what happens is when you consume this food, a stage comes when it starts to impact your DNA.
Yes.
So if you make corn that's going to resist effects of pesticide, by eating that over and over, you become like resistant to pesticides. So this is a very dangerous thing. I mean, you're messing with the creation of the Creator, the God Almighty.
Yes.
And you are creating changes on a DNA level, most of which the studies have shown are detrimental and have more harmful effects.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think also another important part we forgot to touch, Muhammad, is natural cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now everything is done through the microwave or the oven or the stove. I don't know how this can be done, but I went to Africa and they cooked food on wood.
Mm-hmm.
And actually the taste of the food is amazing.
Hatim,
you can't believe it's totally different.
In some places where they use microwave, there is a warning on the glass door outside of the restaurant or of the convenience store that microwave is in use and you have the right not to go inside. So just imagine how harmful that is. And there are independent studies available. The sad thing is most of us, because of convenience,
yes,
because of ease, because we are lazy, we keep microwave in our kitchen where our kids sit. And this is a disaster. you have to pay the price for the convenience. But I do agree with you that in terms of food, if you give me three choices like fry, grill, or boil, okay, I would just remove fry. Okay, and microwave, like we discussed in the other show, that changed the whole lifestyle of a generation. That disintegrated the whole family.
Yes.
Because mom used to cook, and that was the time. Either you eat or you starve. So the whole family got together around the table on kitchen, and you talked. How was your day? How's this? How's
While
the food?
mom is cooking, it's a social event.
Exactly. Now you just throw a TV dinner, you nuke it, and you eat it while you're looking at a screen. You don't even know what you're eating. What's the taste? If it's healthy or not. And then you leave, and then somebody wakes up later on, your brother, he does the same thing, or your kids. This microwave has not only ruined your life, it has ruined the whole lifestyle and the whole family.
And the result is the increased number of cancer cases, the increased number of diabetics, the increase of blood pressure and other diseases that only Allah knows.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
these are the ones we can see.
This is the price that we're paying for our ignorance, actually.
Exactly.
Yeah, for
our laziness.
For our laziness.
Because I know a lot of people who know these things, and they say, "Oh, what
this
can I do?
This is life. What can I do?
What can I do?"
Yeah. You're absolutely right.
There's a very nice documentary pertaining to GMO. It's called Seeds of Death. I recommend that our listeners they try to watch this.
And there's another one about junk food. It's called Super Size Me.
Mm-hmm.
Go and watch it.
Gotcha. All right.
So today, Muhammad, I just wanted to tell our listeners that we are both not perfect. Yeah.
Exactly.
We are also doing the same mistakes, but we're here to remind ourselves and to educate ourselves on some of the things that are very important in our life. That's why we invite callers who are experts in their field to tell us more about these things.
Right.
And today we had Mr. Ghalib Al-Ma'wali, who is a pharmacist, to tell us about the medicines. And of course, food is a big subject.
Mm-hmm. Anywhere and everywhere.
I don't know if we covered everything, but
oh no, we just scratched the surface.
We covered enough. But the basic thing that everyone should be aware of is just educate yourself.
Exactly.
Find out more. Yeah. Read about the products. Just don't be a consumer with ignorance.
Right.
Yeah. Know what you're consuming, what you're giving your kids, and whether this is healthy or not healthy, and live a very active life. Yeah. Half an hour of work or exercise.
Even 3 times a week, if you can do a minor workout, it'll make a huge change.
Yes.
You want to sleep better, exercise.
I remember one wealthy businessman from the Gulf. He went to Germany, and he met one of the top scientists in the field of diabetic research. And he told him, "Professor, can you tell me please what is the latest discovery when it comes to solving the problem of diabetics?" And the professor said, "It's very simple. The latest remedy that we found for diabetics is 10,000 steps a day, bare feet. That's the solution."
And Hatim, there are a lot of gadgets. As a matter of fact, the latest trend in technology, one of the latest trends, it used to be like PCs, and then it turned into laptops, and then tablets and smartphones. Now it's wearables.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because there's a lot of devices you can wear,
mm-hmm.
and they will monitor literally anything under the sun for you, like how many steps you have taken, and like your heartbeat, and it can actually collect and analyze this data, and you can download it later on for analysis. And even when you sleep, there are devices who actually monitor how long you slept and how well you slept and which stages of sleep that you actually hit. So look, we have all this technology. It's like a personal assistant. It's like a personal trainer or a physician or dietitian that we have on us.
Yes.
The question is, after knowing all this, are we willing to change or not? Because if the change doesn't begin with the man in the mirror, then there's no hope for us.
Engineer Muhammad Farooq, thank you very much for this interesting session today, and I hope we tried our level best. We are not experts in this field, but we tried our level best to deliver what we can in our own capabilities. So see you tomorrow, inshallah. I don't know.
I believe it's day after tomorrow, I think.
Tomorrow is Monday, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. See you tomorrow, inshallah. From me, Hatim Al Abdilsalam and Muhammad Farooq. This is Life as It Is. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.